What's going on, Frag fam? I hope you guys are all doing well today. Elliot here. Welcome back to The Fragrance Well. Let's do a little fun video today. We're going to do match your age with the fragrance that you choose. I've kind of done this topic before well over a year ago. I did revisit the video to kind of see what fragrances I talked about and what my approach was. At that time, I did like by decade, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. I'm going to do it a little bit differently. Today, we're going to do more of the age range that is associated with, say, maybe expected milestones based on the data, if you will. And what I mean by that is usually men hit their financial stride. In other words, they kind of reach their earning potential in the early 50s to late 60s, and they kind of begin that journey in their late 30s. So I'm kind of matching it on that age group, if you will. So I got 18 to 25, 25 to 38, I don't want to lie to you, 38 to 55, and then I did 55 and up. And I also wanted to make sure that I did not repeat any fragrances that I did in that video. So I did double check that, and we've got 8 fragrances today that were not featured in that previous video. And let me also just put this out there. This is simply my opinion. There's no such thing as a fragrance only working for a certain age range. I'm pretty sure every fragrance I talk about today, there's people of all ages that could possibly be wearing the fragrances, but I do believe there is a vibe that you can attach to a fragrance, and sometimes that can match a particular age based on looking at guys in age ranges across the board, across the spectrum. It's not always going to be the same for everyone. There's no such thing as everybody in this age range is always doing this. There's always going to be a little bit of fluidity to that, but I'm just kind of doing it based on my own opinion. So, saying that to say, don't get offended. You can certainly disagree with it, but this is all just entertainment. I'm just having a little bit of fun with it. So, let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it. But before we do, as always, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you do like the content, and please hit that bell icon, enable notifications so you can be notified when I upload new videos. Let's get into it. All right, guys, 18 to 25 is the first age range. Got 2 fragrances for each age range. So the first one is coming from Lorenzo Pizzalia, and this is Sun-Gria. Lorenzo Pizzalia Sun-Gria. Now, I know people outside of 18 to 25 wear this fragrance, so again, just reiterating that, it's all just opinions, but I think the vibe of this scent is definitely of someone who's a little bit more youthful. This fragrance to me is fruity, it's boozy, it's sweet, it's very, very playful, it's very, very outgoing, casual kind of fragrance. It's not something that I would smell and immediately think, oh, that guy is 100% serious about what he's doing at that very moment. This is a going out kind of fragrance, if you will. And I associate it with somewhat of a younger, more youthful vibe. The reason I attribute it to that age range is because at that time frame, you tend to be a little bit more outgoing, a little bit more fun, a little bit less serious. I'm not saying you're never serious, but you definitely were probably looking forward to having fun more so than to kind of, building your life together, so to speak. Again, that may not be everybody, but I know for me, even though I was serious about a lot of things, there were definitely times where I just kind of bumped my head a little bit more frequently, was kind of figuring things out, kind of learning about myself at that time. I think fragrances like this kind of speak to that vibe, in my opinion at least. So once again, from Lorenzo Pizzalia, this is Sun-Gria. All right, second one is coming from Mancera, and this is Intense Cedrat Boise. Mancera, Intense Cedrat Boise, and the original Cedrat Boise could work as well. Matter of fact, that might have even been a better scent for this video, but I don't have that one. I have the Intense. And the reason I wanted to feature this one is, by the way, what is this scent? Let me do that first. Citrus, collection of citrus, kind of lemony. Overall, it's a little bit woody. It's got some leathery facets. It's sweet. And by the very nature of the name, Cedrat Boise, which I believe means citrus and wood, it's a citrus, woody fragrance with some other elements to it. And what's interesting about this one compared to Sun-Gria is you can take this one seriously and have fun with it. The reason I wanted to include this one in the 18 to 25 age range is someone in that age can use this scent to be serious as well as have fun. And you don't smell old. Usually when you're in that age range, the last thing you want to do is smell like your parents, smell like your uncle, smell like your grandfather. In my opinion, at least, I was a little bit different from that, but I definitely kind of see that with a lot of people right now. They want to smell great, but they don't want to smell old. This fragrance here can achieve that. Smells amazing. You can use it for a lot of things. And as I stated before, you can be taken seriously in this scent and you can have fun with it. So for those times when you're in that age range and you are trying to do things and take them seriously, this fragrance here captures that vibe in my opinion. And when you still want to just have some fun and also still smell great, this fragrance also can do that. So once again from Mancera, this is Intense Cedrat Boise. Alright guys, so the next age range is 25 to 38. This is typically the age range where guys kind of discover who they are, discover what it is they really want to achieve in life, and they start working towards it. I know for me, it was right around age 30. A light bulb kind of went off, and where I really started to focus in on what I wanted to be in life and how I wanted to approach it. And frankly, it's been an uphill climb ever since. It's been getting better and better every year because I changed my mindset about that. And I think these fragrances kind of speak to that in a weird way. So first one's coming from Christian Provenzano. This is Ambre d'Or. Christian Provenzano, Ambre d'Or. So this is kind of one of those use it for anything kind of fragrances, but while it is kind of a easy scent to wear, I do think it has a little bit more maturity than maybe say something like Cedrat Boise does. This is a fresh, slightly watery, very bright and light amber fragrance. And when I say light, I mean it's not overly vanillic, it's not overly rich. It can work really well in warmer temperatures. A little bit of a fruity characteristic to this as well. This is, in my opinion, from what I've smelled from Christian Provenzano, one of his best use it for anything, kind of appeal to the masses kind of fragrances that doesn't smell like something that's already been created. Yes, he does make stuff that smells like other fragrances. I think in that age range, 25 to 38, this is a fragrance that a lot of guys would be more than happy to choose as something in their fragrance arsenal. Now, I imagine plenty of people outside of that age range have bought this fragrance. I've mentioned before that at my local niche perfumery, when this brand became available there, this scent sold out pretty quick. It sold out in like a week. And I'm pretty sure it wasn't just guys in my age range who bought up all the bottles, because at full retail, these fragrances are not necessarily cheap. They're not as expensive as say the Boudicca fragrances. They're like $330, like all of them. There may be some outliers, but they're all like $330. That's not necessarily cheap at full retail. And I don't know if you can get these discounted yet. They might pop up at some point, or unless you buy it direct from someone. But yeah, great everyday wear fragrance that I think just kind of fits perfectly in that age range. So once again, from Christian Provenzano, this is Ambre d'Or. All right, next one's going to be coming from Kajal. This is Masa. Kajal Masa. Now, this is one of my favorite fragrances in terms of everyday wear that definitely does not smell typical. This is a fruity patchouli fragrance with a little bit of fresh citrus and spicy characteristics to it. Fruity nature, I kind of attribute it to like a crispy apple for the most part. The patchouli, more so leafy, not too heavy, not too earthy, not too damp smelling. And the aquatic features in here are just kind of there to add a little bit of a ozonic quality to it. Let's call it that. But yeah, this fragrance is great for everyday wear. It's a powerful scent, compliment getting fragrance. And it doesn't really smell overly youthful. Even though I call it fruity patchouli, it's not like that outgoing, fun smelling fruitiness, if you will. Similar to what you would get in Sun-Gria. That's more outgoing and fun. I don't think this one quite has that vibe. This one is a little bit more casual / business oriented, where you can use it for both, but you're not going to come across smelling younger with a fragrance like this. But I think this scent is outstanding, and I think it kind of matches that vibe where a guy is really coming into his own, but it's not like ridiculously elegant, if that makes sense. It still is palatable to most people. I think the more elegant you get, it's not always as palatable, or maybe people find it a little bit weird. May find it intriguing, but they may find it kind of weird. This in here, super palatable. So once again, from Kajal, this is Masa. All right, guys, the next age range is 38 to 55. Now, obviously, I have not reached this age range yet. I have not lived it, so I am speaking outside of my experience, but this is typically the time frame when men really start to go into their financial stride, or go into their career stride, go into their life stride, however you want to call it, and they're approaching their peak. They may have not necessarily reached it yet, some do, but in general, by the numbers, you can look this stuff up, this is the point where men are really starting to take off. So I picked some fragrances that I think kind of speak to that. And it is my opinion, by the way. So the first one's going to be coming from Roja Parfums. This is Burlington 1819. Roja Parfums, Burlington 1819. And this fragrance, now look, I wear this scent a lot, so just pointing that out there. But this fragrance here is super elegant, yet relatively simple. It is a citrus fragrance with kind of a rindy grapefruit, really nice rindy grapefruit quality, mixing with this awesome spice combination of cinnamon and cumin. And I gotta say, it's one of my favorite spice combinations in my entire cabinet, even though this isn't like a super spicy fragrance, but it's accompanied with really nice aromatic qualities and some woods overall. That's pretty much what you're getting from the scent. I would imagine for people who don't really like the fragrance, the only thing they really don't like is the cumin aspect. But I do think this presents cumin in a way that's a little bit more palatable than, say, some other fragrances. But the vibe of this scent is classy, it's gentlemanly, it is business-minded in my opinion. I think you can wear this in casual sense, but for me, it more so works with serious occasions, so work, business meetings, whatever you want to attribute to that. But yeah, this stuff smells very elegant. Definitely something I would say smells serious. And I think in this age range, overall, you tend to take life a little bit more seriously than you don't. So that's why I attributed to this fragrance to that age range. So once again, from Roja Parfums, this is Burlington 1819. All right, next one is coming from Savoir-Faire, and this is Soul Café. Savoir-Faire Soul Café. Now, the reason I wanted to include this fragrance in this age range is even though I talk about how you tend to take life a little bit more seriously in this age range, that doesn't mean you don't have some fun. Many people certainly still go out on the weekends and things like that in the higher age ranges, if you will. I see them all the time at my gigs. Matter of fact, when I'm playing most of my musical gigs, most of the people there are not in my age range. They're typically much older than me. It's usually because they're not broke. I'll just leave it at that. So this fragrance here kind of opens with this really interesting, almost spicy orange juice kind of smell. It's a really nice, rich orange-like citrus that I think kind of smells like orange juice. And then you're kind of chasing it, if you will, with this spicy characteristic. And then there's this collection of really opulent, luxurious smelling woods to me. So it's more of a spicy, slightly gourmand, citrus and woody fragrance. There's also some earthy notes to this. I think there might be like some coffee accords. So what this fragrance really makes me think of is like a jazz club, jazz bar, an upscale restaurant, steakhouse, a place that might have live entertainment, but also be, a nice place for food, nice place for higher end drinks. This is typically where you find people in this age range if they're going out for the evening. I think this fragrance 100% captures that vibe. So that's why I wanted to include it. It's not always about being serious 100% of the time, but if you do go out, you tend to be maybe a little bit more elegant, a little bit more classy in the way you carry yourself most of the time if you're in this age range. Again, nothing is absolute, and again, these are my opinions. So once again, from Savoir-Faire, this is Soul Café. All right, guys, so the last age group is going to be 55 and up. Instead of making that a range, I just chose to go 55 and higher. And the reason I chose that is usually within that time frame, most guys reach their peak, their zenith, if you will, in terms of their earning potential or their success in life. And I wanted to choose some fragrances that I think somewhat capture that vibe. So the first one's coming from Francesca Bianchi, and this is Etruscan Water. Francesca Bianchi, Etruscan Water. So first of all, even right now, if someone is in that age range, there's a good chance they could wear some fragrances that may smell a little dated, if you will. And this one here smells like a classic gentleman chypre, but with a modern take to it. It's spicy. It's got some citrus elements to it. There's definitely patchouli in this. There's definitely oak moss in this. Typically things you might find in a classic chypre, specifically that oak moss element. And it smells kind of hair on your chest dirty, if you will, but also clean and elegant also. And I love the modern take that this has on that style of fragrances. Really makes me think of my grandfather. He definitely wore chypre like fragrances, particularly Aramis Eau de Toilette. And I, have fond memories of smelling that on him. And it's the reason why I'm such a fan of fragrances like that. But this one kind of does that in a modern take. Side note on this, some people say this smells like Diaghilev or is maybe a take on a Diaghilev-like fragrance. I have a sample of Diaghilev. I need to check that. I don't know that for sure, but that one is a very luxurious chypre fragrance. So you could say maybe this one can give you a similar style to that. If you like Diaghilev or like cheaper fragrances like that, this one could be a good one that definitely doesn't cost as much as something like Diaghilev. Just an FYI on that. So once again, from Francesca Bianchi, this is Etruscan Water. All right, and the final fragrance for this video is going to be coming from Le Labo, and this is Tabac 28. Le Labo Tabac 28. And the reason I wanted to feature this scent is, if you've ever heard me talk about it, I often talk about this fragrance kind of smelling like you are celebrating a successful quarter or a successful year by way of smoking a nice cigar in a cigar lounge and indulging in some top-end liquor. That's what this fragrance smells like. It's like booze infused tobacco leaves. A little bit of a spice in this as well. Some smoky characteristics. It smells very, very luxurious and definitely just smells like that vibe, in my opinion. And the reason I wanted to attribute it to this age range is, like I already said, most guys kind of reach their financial peak or earning potential peak or career peak at this age range. So this fragrance here, to me, it smells like success. Why not attach that to an age range where most guys tend to find the most success? So that's why I chose to put this fragrance in that age range. And honestly, to me, may not be for everyone, but I think this stuff just smells opulent, smells of success. And I cannot get that picture out of my mind when I smell this scent. In particular, I kind of think of like the Corona cigar lounges on a Friday evening. If you've ever been around one of those in a bigger city on a Friday evening, guys with money are there. I see exotic cars there. I see guys in there indulging with top shelf liquor and some of the most expensive cigars in the place, even though, in my opinion, to get a good smoke from a cigar, you don't have to buy the most expensive one, but to each his own. So once again, from Le Labo, this is Tabac 28. All right, guys, that is going to wrap it up for this video. A little bit of a fun video for today. Let me know down in the comments below if you like to attribute age ranges to some fragrances. What are some fragrances you would attach to the age ranges I included in this video? I would love to see what you guys have to say. Thanks again for watching all the way into the end. I really do appreciate you all. Please remember to be well and smell well, and I will see you in the next episode of The Fragrance Well. Have a good one.